Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tracy. Today is Wednesday, January 28th, and I want to jump on. There's been some trying to conceive TTC updates um, that have been going on here lately. So, to start it off, I had to report a new cycle day one. It was about 5 days early, and so um, it occurred Saturday evening. But in the world of fertility, if it starts after 5 p.m., then you go to the next day. And so my technical day one is Sunday, this past Sunday. And so when making that report, I heard back from the team saying that a nurse would be in contact Monday morning. And sure enough, Monday morning came, and a member of my team reached out because in my cycle day one message, I not only mentioned, hey, it's cycle day one and it's a bit early, but luckily no meds were needed this time. However, I'm feeling really bummed that I have to wait 2 weeks, or I'm sorry, not 2 weeks, but 2 months before moving along in the process because, the doctor would like to regroup and strategize or come up with a new plan, and her earliest appointment isn't until March. So kind of bummed here. And so the nurse had reached out back to me on Monday morning and said that, she was just asking questions. She was like, so are we not trying this cycle, basically? And I'm like, I'm willing to try this cycle, but I was told by the doctor that she would like to get together to regroup and that scheduling would contact me, and scheduling contacted me, and it's not until March. So I'm assuming that I don't get to do anything. And, like, I've never done this journey before. And so outside of what we've already been doing, I have no idea what there is to even consider. That, even with my follicular ultrasounds here of late, there was first a mention of a cyst on my right side that was a simple cyst, and they forwarded on, it was over the holiday, and so there was a covering doctor, and so they forwarded on that doctor's notes where it just said there was a simple cyst on that side preventing other egg follicles from being discharged, and that she didn't think it was a good time to do an IUI that time because of it, and that hopefully that cyst would just dissolve on its own. And so I had some information just regarding that note, but then most recently, the follicular ultrasound results came back and said that I had a cyst on my left side that was considered a complex cyst, and nobody ever made mention of it. And so I was left to Google things for myself to try to find information and find out what that means for me and my body and everything else. And then, knowing that I have one straw of sperm left, one sample, for one additional IUI, and then I'm going to have to order more, and that is the most hefty expense out of all of this trying. And so trying to communicate with them that if more is needed, this isn't something that I can do on the drop of a hat. This takes planning for my family, because we are talking thousands of dollars. And to give you guys like an idea, so last time I ordered the donor sperm, from a bank. It was actually on sale I did not know that whenever I selected the donor. It's just whenever it came time for my purchase that it was noted that that was basically, I was being given a discounted rate. And so I paid, let's just say $850 for each straw, and I purchased 3 of them. And since then, I've gone on to their website, and my donor is no longer available. They are out of stock. And so I would have to go back to the drawing board and find a donor that feels appropriate for us, which I'm not too picky, which, I mean, that makes it harder to me when I'm not picky about what I'm looking for. I just want a healthy baby. So it's a daunting task to go through 400 and some profiles and find out one that you kind of feel a connection to. But they range in price, typically anywhere from like $1,100 to $1,800 per straw, per attempt. So this is no light cost. This is something that my family will have to discuss, and how much quantity to get. And we also have to take into consideration that that's the cost for the straw. There's costs associated with getting it shipped, as well as receiving it and storing it. And these are multiple hundreds of dollars to do these things. So all of this put together is weighing on me. And then ultimately, in my message to the nurse, my response, I basically said, if, I'm all for trying whatever it takes. And at this point, because I don't know what's available to me, I need to know what my options are, what the likelihood of them and me conceiving are, and what's the cost associated with these. Or are we at a point where we can't continue? And how I message my team is kind of funny. It's kind of just how I talk in general too. And so I put in parentheses, she says with tears in her eyes, because at that point when I'm messaging, I was in a very hard place and emotionally, and thinking, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking something's really wrong, and that's why they scheduled out my appointment, and I'm not trying anymore because it's not a viable option, or we're going to have to go to extremes, is what my mind is thinking. And so I sent that message, and that was Monday morning. And within 10 minutes of me sending that message, I get a phone call from the team, and it's my doctor. And so she immediately called me in response to my message and went ahead and had a televisit consult with me. And she did notify me that the cysts are nothing that she is concerned about, that oftentimes they do dissolve and take care of themselves. Other ones are implanted, and sometimes we're born with them and we keep them all the way until we pass. Other times they just develop, but as long as it's not hurting anything, there's no problem with it. And so what she could see was that they aren't growing any bigger or anything of that nature, and they're not impeding any reproduction, and they're not twisting or causing binds in any of my tubes or anything like that. And so she said that there's no issue there to worry about at this time. She is still very determined, very hopeful, and believes that we will be able to come to a successful pregnancy She just wanted to know if I was willing to be more aggressive whenever it came to taking medications. And so I, of course, she knows too. I didn't take medicines before this. The most I have ever taken maybe is like some Aleve. Not crying, y'all. Just mourning. And so she wanted to make sure that medication is something that I am still okay with doing. And also, this would not be an oral medication, it's an injection medication. And so I'm completely okay with that. We've already talked about the risks of these medications and things. And it's nothing that scares me or makes me reconsider. So the plan moving forward then is that I am to take well, let me first by telling you. So her thing with wanting to regroup is the fact that she's trying to improve the quality and the conditions in order to conceive. And so my body is releasing eggs. They're just not developing to the right size until after my ovulation window. So it sounds like I need to hurry my body up. Like, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just not doing it timely. And so the process now is going to be that I'm taking triple the letrozole for 5 days. I started that last night on Tuesday night. And then I'm leaving out stuff, guys. There's been a lot here in the last couple days. So yesterday they ordered a follicular ultrasound and labs, and so I went into that yesterday on Tuesday, and those results came in. That's how they determined when to have me start taking the medications and things. So I started taking the letrozole last night. It's a triple dosage, like I've been doing the last couple times. And then I have to get my injection for the FSH, is what it's called, follicle stimulation hormone. And it's something that our bodies naturally have. But this is going to give me more in the help of the development of the eggs, and also releasing more than one egg each cycle. So I start taking that Sunday, but I have to go through specialty pharmacy for it since it's refrigerated, and my pharmacy, I guess, does not handle refrigerated items. Sounds like a lot of places don't handle them anymore. So that's where I'm at so far. And I know that that's like a jumbled up mess of things, but we are trying this time, and some things are in order, and I'm back to feeling more hopeful. So I just wanted to jump on here and let you guys know what I know, and I will follow up with you guys shortly. So thanks for watching.